Ready for the flip of the coin here. The officials being introduced to the captains. We'll give you the captains for Kansas. Bob Krause, number 63, Wally Stroh, number 12, and number 82, Lynn McCarthy. For Oregon State, Ted Searle and Joe Francis. The flip of the coin just about ready. The officials for today's contest, the referee is Pierce Astick, the umpire Tony Amato, the headlinesman is Ben Beckerman. The field judge is Bill Settle. Kansas wins the toss of the coin. Oregon State testing the wind.
Oregon State will receive.
Kansas will receive. Oregon State will kick off, kicking from our left, which is they'll kick toward the south.
Randall.
Kicking off for Oregon State will be Buzz Randall, the center, number 52. The deep men for Kansas are Feller, Floyd, and Marshall. Picked up by McHugh. The 15-20 rolled out of bounds about the 26.5-yard line. First and 10 there for Kansas. Fournier and Randall made the tackle. First and 10 for Kansas. Flanker to the right. The give is to McHugh into the right side of the line. Moves up across the 30 to the 31 where Jim Brackens knocked him down. Second and 6 for Oregon State, for Kansas. The give this time is to Homer Floyd, and Floyd gets to the 35. He's short of a first down by about a yard. Dwayne Fournier made the tackle for Oregon State. They put it short of the 35. It's a fourth or third down and about 2, and I don't think he made it. This was Feller carrying the ball. Fournier and Jesmer made the stop for Oregon State. It'll be The Jayhawks made the first down, so it's first and 10 for Kansas. The ball on the Kansas 37-yard line. No score in the ball game, about 25,000 people here. Here's the give to Feller, the fullback. Up the middle he goes, across the 40 to the 41, 42-yard line. Dropped by Bob DeGrant, who's in there at right end. Second and 5, flanker out to the left is McHugh, the right halfback. Here is Marshall on the keep, going up across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Third down, yard to go for Kansas on their own 46-yard line. Keep by Marshall. He dives, makes the first down. Bates made the tackle for Oregon State. First and 10 for Kansas. McHugh flankered out to the left. Marshall, handkerchief, fumble. I think Marshall got the recovery. He was giving it off to Don Feller. We'll have to see what the penalty is. Penalty against Kansas. 5 yards for illegal procedure. First down, 15 for the Jayhawks. Kansas with the ball on their own 42. Flanker is Floyd out to the left. Here is Marshall, running back, gonna pass. Intercepted by Durden on the Oregon State 31-yard line. The Beavers take over there, first and 10. Beavers strong side left, first and 10 on their own 31-yard line. Kansas was moving the ball. Snap to the tailback, Francis. Across the 35, 36, and up to the 39-yard line goes Joe Francis, the tailback of Oregon State. Tackle was made by Marshall. Strong side right in the single wing for Oregon State. Balanced line as they run out of that balanced line almost all the time. Very few times they'll go to an unbalance if they do. Here's the spinner to Durden. The handoff from the fullback Beamer. He moves up for the first down across the 45-yard line to the 46, and Jim Letkavitz tackled him there for Kansas. First and 10 for the Beavers. The ball on their own 46, we'll call it. It's about the 45 and a half. Here's Durden again on that reverse from the fullback. Across the 50 to the 45 and knocked down, but not out of bounds. Looked like Bob Marshall. Beavers with a strong side left this time. Second down the yard. Here's Beamer right up the middle. Dropped on the Kansas 34, 33-yard line by Bob Marshall again. You'll enjoy banking at First National. It's your kind of bank. Oregon State with a 1st and 10. The ball on the Kansas 33-yard line. Beavers strong side right. Francis the tailback, Durden the wingback. Beamer is the fullback, and the blocking back is Cyril. No score in the ball game. Temperature here about 75 to 80 degrees. No wind to speak of. Beamer keeps, makes a yard. Swoboda and Russell made a tackle for the Jayhawks. Strong side left this time for Oregon State. 2nd and 9. Durden, handoff from Beamer. 25, 20, might go all the way. He's in for the touchdown. Oregon State scores. 6 for Oregon State, nothing for Kansas. Oregon State, Cyril will try the point after touchdown. Francis will hold. It's in the air. It's good. There's a handkerchief on the play, though. Illegal use of the hands offensively by Oregon State. 15-yard penalty. Puts the ball back to the 17. Cyril will try it now from the 24. Put down. It's good. It barely got over. Oregon State 7, Kansas nothing. 9 minutes, 8 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Oregon State with a second unit in there now. Enderle will kick off for the Beavers, number 75. We've got Floyd and Feller, the deep men. Fumbled by Feller, picked up by Floyd at the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And dropped on the Kansas 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Jayhawks. Anagnos made the tackle for Oregon State. 1st and 10 for Kansas. This Stroud giving a handoff to Floyd, the left halfback, and Floyd moves across the 47 up to the 48-yard line. Hogan made the stop for Oregon State. 2nd down and 6 yards to go for Kansas. Stroud gives this time to McHugh. Stroud recovered that fumble by McHugh. No gain, no loss on the play. 3rd down, still 6 for Kansas. This is Stroud hiding the ball nice, going back to pass. Incomplete. Intended for Feller at the 35. 4th down for Kansas on their own 48-yard line. Punting situation. Letkavitz will kick for the Jayhawks. Kicks with the left foot. We've got 2 left-footed kickers here today. That's Hammock catching the ball. Dropped just short of the 20-yard line by Don Feller. Oregon State strong side right. Lukehart at blocking back. Arana's the tailback. Hammock's the wing back. And Aurelio is the fullback. Aurelio carrying for Oregon State on that spinner play. Up across the 26 to about the 27-yard line. Floyd made the tackle for Kansas. Be sure to save a little every payday at your nearby First National Bank. Strong side left this time for the Beavers. Tailback Arana gets the ball. Across the 30. 3 men grab him and throw him down at the 33. McHugh, Stroud, and Kraus made the tackle for Kansas. Strong side right this time with a first down for Oregon State. The ball again to Aurelio. He moves across the 35 up to the 37-yard line. A pickup of 4, second down and 6 for the Beavers. The ball on their own 37. Here is Arana faking the pass. Got a good block up across the 40. Dumped at the 43-yard line by Homer Floyd. Timeout to measure.
David Watt.
Close to a first down.
From Maple Hill, Kansas.
No signal as yet on whether it is a first down or not. Players got in our view right there. It is a first down for the Beavers. Lukehart was the boy who made that block. Beavers strong side left this time. Arana tailback. Aurelio's the full. The spinner this time give to Hammock a handkerchief as Hammock gets across the 45 and is knocked out of bounds on the 47. A holding penalty against the Beavers, 15 yards. Moves the ball back to their own 29-yard line, where it'll be first and 25. Wade replaces Cale Ali at center for Oregon State. Arana gonna pass. Complete! Beautifully to Thompson at the 40. Stumbled! And is going to be ruled down at the Kansas 28-yard line. Feller was the boy after him for Kansas. First and 10 for the Beavers on the Kansas 28, strong side left. Fumble, picked up by Aurelio, dropped on the Kansas 40-yard line, a loss of 11 yards on the play by Jim Letkovitz. Second and 21 for Oregon State. Strong side right. Fullback gives to Hammock, the wingback, on the reverse. Gets about 3 yards, down by Tom Horner.
37-yard line.
Third down and 18 yards to go for Oregon State on the 37. Ball got by Arana, the tailback. Arana recovered that for a 7-yard loss. It is now fourth down and 25 yards to go. Arana back in punt formation for Oregon State, trying that squib kick, they call it. Reversed at the 2 to McHugh at the 10 and stopped at about the 15-yard line by John Aurelio of Oregon State. A handkerchief on the play. A clipping penalty called against Kansas at the 15, moves the ball to the 1-yard line. They never put the ball back, of course, just as far as the 1-yard line. So it's first and 10 there for the Jayhawks. Punt formation with Jim Letkovitz back just inside his end zone with a first and 10 on the 1 for Kansas. Good kick, beautiful, spiral. Hammock waiting for it, picks it on the 43. Well, they got him finally at the 35. Krause, Straw, and Peppercorn made the tackle for Kansas. Numerous substitutions in the ball game now. Oregon State with their first unit back in there. This is Francis, gonna pass. Complete to Doman, or to DeGrant rather, and he is knocked down before he went out of bounds on the 15-yard line of Kansas. First and 10 there for Oregon State. The ball just inside the 15. Oregon State with a strong side left. First and 10 on the Kansas 14.5. Here is the handoff to Durden on that reverse again. Another touchdown for Oregon State. The Beavers lead with 46 seconds left to play in the first quarter, 13-0. We'll try to make it point number 14 for Oregon State. Francis will hold. Bad pass. Kick is no good. The score remains Oregon State 13, Kansas nothing. The First National lineup of pleasant, courteous people is what makes First National Oregon's leading bank. Oregon State leads right now by 13 points. Randall will kick off for the Beavers. Substitutions in there. We have Floyd, the deep man for Kansas. Ball over his head into the end zone.
Out of the end zone is a touchback.
Kansas will take it on their 20, first and 10. Stroud, Floyd, Carrier, and Harris in the backfield for Kansas. The give this time is to Harris. Harris is met behind the line of scrimmage and dropped by Dwayne Fournier for a yard loss. 19 seconds till the end of the first quarter. Tight T for Kansas. Handkerchief on the play. Looked like a Kansas man was offside as the handoff went to Floyd up the middle for about 4 yards. An offside penalty against Kansas is declined by the Beavers. Kansas goes back into punt formation on third down. Letkovitz is punting. Cleaver is the safety for Oregon State. Going to stay away from that ball. Bouncing good for Kansas. Rolls dead on about the Oregon State 26.
On the 26-yard line.
And that's the end of the first quarter with the score. Oregon State 13, Kansas nothing. We'll be back with the second quarter of play. Right now, here's Ralph Rogers. Oregon State, strong side right. They're attired in the black uniforms and orange numerals and orange helmets. Here is Sanchez being hit and hit hard. Loss of a yard. Tom Russell made the tackle for Kansas. That was Arana, not Sanchez. Here is Arana again. Third down with 6 yards to go for Oregon State, and Arana is back in punt formation, standing on his own 18. Good spiral kick. Fielded by Floyd on the 30. Blockers forming over here, but they didn't get one man out of the way. That was George Enderle, the weak side tackle for Oregon State. Kansas backfield has Stroud quarterback, Floyd the left halfback, Carrier the right half, and Harris is the fullback. The give this time is to Harris, the fullback. Right up the middle he goes. Gets to the Kansas 38-yard line, stopped by Enderle and Brundage. Second down and 5 yards to go for Kansas. The give this time is to Floyd. Floyd across the 40 and stopped by Lucart and a gang of tacklers. And I think they're calling Oregon State. A personal foul called against Oregon State, evidently calling him after the whistle had blown for hitting that ball carrier. Lucart had him stopped and the other boys hit him. So they called Oregon State for a personal foul. First and 10 for Kansas on the Oregon State 44. Flanker left for Kansas is Floyd, the left halfback. The give is to the fullback, Harris. Harris into the center of the line, picks up about 2 yards, getting to the 41. 3 yards, call it, stopped by Keolauli'i and Brundage. Carrier's flanked to the left this time. The give is to Floyd. Floyd to the 40 and stopped at the 40 by Howard Hogan. 3rd and 5 for Kansas inside the Oregon State 40. Here's Stroud hiding the ball on his hip, going back to pass. Shooting it, and it's ruled incomplete. Intended that time for Letkovitz. 4th down, 5 for Kansas. They're going to go for it. Stroud rolling back to pass, shooting, complete to Palmer at the Oregon State 27.5-yard line. 1st and 10 for Kansas. Ball on the Oregon State 27, Kansas, tight T. Stroud gives to the left halfback Floyd. Floyd goes into the center, moves down across the 25 to about the 22-yard line. A pickup of 5, 2nd and 5 for Kansas on the 22. The give this time is to Harris, the fullback. He gets the first down as he goes inside the 15 to the 14-yard line, tackled by Jerry Doman of Oregon State. First and 10 on the 14 for Kansas, the 14 of Oregon State. Pitch out to Floyd. Pass. But out of bounds. He was out past the sideline. With the ball was Larry Carrier. He's the boy who caught it out of bounds. It'll remain 10 yards to go with second down coming up for Kansas. Kansas trying to score. Carrier is a flanker to the right. Stroud gives to Floyd, the left halfback, into the center. On the cross buck he goes to about the 10-yard line. It'll pick up about 4 yards, stopped by Howard Hogan of the Beavers. Third down and 6 for Kansas. Flank to the right is Floyd. Here's Stroud, gonna pass. Shoots it, intended this time for Letkovitz. Incomplete. Fourth down, 6 yards to go for Kansas. Handkerchief, it looked like a Kansas man was offside. Pass is complete to Floyd. It's short of a first down, though. Offside penalty against Kansas declined by Oregon State. They take over first and 10 on their own 7 as the pass to Floyd was short of being a first down. This is Arana, the tailback, carrying for Oregon State. He's at the 15, 16, and dropped at the 16 by Harris. Short of a first down by about a half a yard. Strong side left for Oregon State. The ball to Arana. He's got the first down, and up across the 20-yard line he goes. Dropped up there by Tom Russell. Strong side left again for Oregon State with a first down on their own 20-yard line. Here is the fullback, Stinnett, taking the ball, getting for about a yard or two up to the 22. It's 13-0. Oregon State leads with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the second quarter.
Yard and a half, let's call it a yard.
Whether it's quarters, halves, or dollars, be sure to save a little every payday at your nearby First National Bank. Second down 9 for Oregon State. The reverse goes to Cleaver, and Cleaver is knocked out of bounds on the Oregon State 20.5-yard line. Third and 9 for the Beavers. The ball just across their own 20. New backfield in there. This is Francis. Intercepted on the 30, at the 25, and dropped at the 20-yard line of Oregon State is Bob Kraus, the man from Kansas who intercepted for the Jayhawks. He was dropped by Dave Jesmer of the Beavers. Kansas, first and 10, just inside the Oregon State 20. The give is to the fullback, Feller, and Feller goes down to about the 15-yard line of Oregon State. He was stopped down there by Jesmer again. Robinson, the left halfback, flanked out to the right for Kansas. Stroud gives to McHugh. McHugh's got the first down. He's inside the 10 to about the 7.5-yard line of the Beavers. Stopped down there by Nub Beamer, the fullback for the Beavers. The ball is on the Oregon State 8. Kansas' best chance of the ball game so far. Here is Feller, the fullback, carrying. If he can speed, he can get it. He's got the touchdown for the Jayhawks. Robinson, number 25, was the boy who scored. We confused him with Feller, number 35. Stroud will try the point after touchdown, and Robinson will hold. No good. Low and to the right. The score remains Oregon State 13, Kansas 6. Morris will kick off. Wayne Morris, a quarterback for Kansas. Hammock is the deep man for the Beavers, number 11. The ball is taken by Francis at the 20. Nice tackle by Swoboda of Kansas. Drops Francis at the Oregon State 28, where the Beavers will have it first and 10. Strong side right. The backfield for Oregon State is Cyril at the blocking back. Francis is the full. This is Hammock getting the reverse. across the 30 to the 31.5-yard line, a pickup of 3.5 yards, stopped by Krause of Kansas. Beamer's the fullback, Hammock is the wingback, and the tailback is Francis. This is Beamer. Up to the 35-yard line, piled under there, led by Bill Swoboda, or Paul Swoboda, of Kansas. Third and a long 3 yards to go, about 3.5 for Oregon State on their own 35. Beamer gives to Hammock on the reverse. He's got the first down and upended up on the Oregon State 44-yard line by Larry McCowan. Oregon State with a 1st and 10, the ball on their own 44-yard line. Here is Francis, the tailback, and a pass. Hammock is the deep man, can't quite get to it, incomplete, intended for Hammock on about the 30-yard line of Kansas. 3 minutes 55 seconds to play in the first half. 13-6, Oregon State leads. 2nd down and 10. Here's Francis, back to pass again. He's got blockers out front on that protection. He's at the 50 and knocked out of bounds on the Kansas 49-yard line. And a little flare of tempers as a couple of the boys went after it after the whistle had blown, and that's being cleared up now. Third down, 3 yards to go for Oregon State on the Kansas 49. Strong side left for the Beavers. Beamer gives to Hammock on that reverse. He's got the first down. He's at the 40, inside the 40 to the 35, and has actually spun to the ground there by Morris. 1st and 10 for the Beavers on the Kansas 35. Strong side left. Beamer to Hammock, double reverse, end around. We've got Fournier being spilled back in the 40, a loss of 5 for the Beavers. That one worked beautifully last week against the Trojans, but Kansas had it figured out. Remsburg made the tackle for Kansas. Ball on the near hash mark. Beavers line up, strong side right. Beamer gonna pass. That's Fournier down there. He got it! Beautiful catch by Dwayne Fournier on the 12-yard line. They'll put it down on about the 10 of Kansas. 1st and 10 there for the Beavers. Timeout taken by Oregon State. First down for the Beavers, just short of the 10-yard line of Kansas. Strong side right. Francis is a tailback. The handoff on the reverse is to Hammock. He's going to get the touchdown, too. He's got it. Oregon State's lead. Now by 13 points, 19-6, with 2 minutes 40 seconds left to play in the first half. Bob DeGrant threw the key block out there to spring Hammock loose. Cyril will kick. Francis holds. High kick this time, and it is good. The score 20 for OSC and 6 for KU. Randall kicking off for the Beavers. Carrier waiting for the ball, catches it on the goal line. He's at the 10, 15, good blocking, 20, and dropped up across the 25-yard line. The whistle blows with Don Thiel in to help on the tackle with Bob McKittrick. Floyd, flanker to the left. This is Stroud rolling out, going to pass, incomplete. Intended up on the 33-yard line for Palmer. Carrier flank to the right. 2nd down and 10, Fort Kansas. The ball on their own 25, 26-yard line. Stroud going to pass again. Intercepted by Cyril. He's at the 35 and inside the 35 to about the 33-yard line of Kansas. 1st and 10 for the Beavers in the Kansas 33. Francis gets the ball on the snap. Pass incomplete, intended for DeGrant. It was low, hit him on the leg. 1 minute 12 seconds left to play in the first half. Oregon State 2nd and 10 on the Kansas 33. Francis. Pass complete. No, incomplete. Thompson had it but couldn't hang on. Doman in for DeGrant at right end for the Beavers. Strong side right, 3rd and 10 for Oregon State. Here's Beamer, the fullback, on the spinner. Goes down to the 25. He's got the first down, still going. to the 15, the 10, not out of bounds. He's now out of bounds at about the 4. First and goal for the Beavers on the Kansas 4-yard line. We've got 56 seconds left to play in the first half. Strong side left for Oregon State. Beamer to Hammock on that reverse. Hammock is dumped at about the 3. Palmer tripped him up at the 3. Second and goal for Oregon State. Here's Beamer, the fullback. Touchdown. He fumbled and it was recovered in the end zone. It looks from here like Jesmer recovered that fumble for the touchdown for the Beavers. Cyril will try the point after touchdown. The kick is in the air. Francis held. It's good, and the score, Oregon State 27, Kansas 6. Enderle kicking off for Oregon State. Floyd and Carrier are the deep men for KU, standing on their own 10. Floyd gets it on the 16. Tripped up as he gets to the 33. Anangus made the tackle for the Beavers. Here's Stroud dropping back to pass. 2 men got him back there and they're going to spill him. The one with him was Enderle. We have 2-1. There's the gun that ends the first half with the score. Oregon State 27, Kansas 6. Second half play just about ready to begin. Oregon State's lineup is the same that started the ball game, except Hammock is playing at the wingback position instead of Durden. Here's Francis with the kickoff. Strauss kickoff. Still going across the 40 and dropped up on the 42-yard line. Kraus and Banana made the tackle for Kansas. First and 10 for the Beavers. The ball on their own 42-yard line. Strong side right. The ball to Beamer. Direct buck into the center of the line. He goes across the 45 to the 47. A pickup of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Banana again the tackler for Kansas. Strong side left this time for the Beavers. 2nd and 5. Ball fumbled by Francis. He's going to pick up some yardage though. Still going. Ball was not whistled dead. He's at the 35, the 30. 10-5. Touchdown for Oregon State. Looked like it was stopped back in the 40. Searle will try the point after touchdown. Francis is holding for the Beavers. Kicks in the air. And it's good. The score, Oregon State 34, Kansas 6, 13 minutes, 41 seconds to play in the ball game. Check that. It's 13 minutes, 41 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Randall kicking off for the Beavers. Fielded by Feller. 30, 35. Hammock helped out on the tackle for Oregon State with Fournier. First and 10, Kansas on their own 37. The ball to the fullback, Feller, given off there by Stroud, the quarterback. A pickup of 4 yards on the play to the 41. Flanker is McHugh out to the left for Kansas. 2nd down and 7 as they stopped it short of being 4 yards, about 3.5. A handkerchief on this play with Floyd getting the handoff from Stroud. A penalty against the Jayhawks. 15 yards for illegal use of the hands. Moves the ball back to the 24-yard line of Kansas, where it is 2nd down and about 23.
24-yard line.
Ball on the 24. Here's Stroud. Faking. Nice faking. Going to pass. If he can find a throw to. It's complete to Letkovich up on the 35. Still way short of the first down. It's 3rd down and 11 for Kansas. Here's the flip out to Floyd, trying to put on the speed. He's got 3 tacklers after him. It's whistled dead before that, before he fumbled. Fournier is the boy that had a hold of him there to stop him. It is 4th down now and 13 yards to go. Somebody jumped offside. Looks like offside against Oregon State. 5-yard penalty against the Beavers. Still in punt formation is Letkovitz of Kansas, standing on his own 26.5. Kicks with the left foot. Hammock misjudged that ball. He didn't touch it, though. He did not touch it. The Jayhawkers claim that he did touch it. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Beavers on their own 13. 10 minutes, 34 seconds to play in the third quarter. Strong side left for Oregon State. They lead 34-6. Ball on their own 13. Here's Beamer, the fullback. Gets to the 15 and is shoved back to about the 13 by Bob Krause. We have now 2nd down, 7 yards to go for Oregon State. Single wing right. Hammock on the reverse from the fullback. Stopped at the 15. The whistle is blown. He was finally stopped by McHugh. Letkovitz tripped him up just slightly. Today's leading home heating fuel is natural gas. Isn't it time for you to change to clean, safe, low-cost natural gas? 3rd down, 7 yards to go for Oregon State. The ball just across their 15.
3rd down.
Beamer, big hole. He's got the first down as he goes across the 25 to about the 27.5 of Oregon State. Tackle was made by Feller.
27-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Beavers. Strong right for Oregon State. Beamer again. Almost lost that ball, but held on as he got up across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Letkovitz and Freelock made the tackle. 8 minutes, 8 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Here is Sanchez, back to pass. Intended for Hammock. Incomplete. 3rd down, 4 yards to go for Oregon State. The ball on their own 33. Beamer, handoff to Hammock on that reverse. They've got that one figured out. They're going to throw him for a loss. He's out of bounds at about the 29.5. McHugh and Letkovitz were the ones who had that one figured out. It is 4th down and 7 yards to go for Oregon State. Timeout taken by the Beavers.
Kicker will be Cyril.
Cyril is back in punt formation for the Beavers, standing on his own 16.
17.
Good kick, high kick. Good coverage, too, on the kick. Caught by one of the Beavers, number 88, Bob DeGrant. The Jayhawks 1st and 10, the ball on their own 28-yard line. Stroud gives to Floyd, and Floyd hits up over the 30-yard line to about the 32, stopped up there by Anagnos of the Beavers. Floyd is flanked out to the right this time for KU. Here is Carrier getting the ball for Kansas and going up across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Lukart hit him there and dropped him from Oregon State. 3rd and 3 for Kansas. Carrier flanked out to the left. The handoff is to Floyd. Floyd gets awfully close to a first down. Hogan stopped him about a half-yard short of a first down. So it's 4th down now, and Letkovitz is back in punt formation for Kansas, standing on his own 26. It's a kick away. It's a good high kick. That is Arana, and Arana is caught beautifully and thrown down by Floyd, Homer Floyd, the left halfback of Kansas. 1st and 10 for the Beavers. The ball on their own 29. They lead 34-6. 5 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Here is Stinnett. The 35 and rolled out of bounds on the 37.5-yard line of Oregon State by Krause. Strong side left for Oregon State. Here is Arana. Incomplete, almost intercepted by Floyd. Remember, natural gas heating is cleaner, safer, and low cost, too. 3rd and 2 for the Beavers. The ball on their own 37.5. Here's the fullback, Stinnett, going up the middle, and the sophomore for Corvallis gets the first down as he moves across the 40 to the 41. Well, it's a first down, but they say his knee touched back short of the 40-yard line on about the 39. Here is Cleaver getting the handoff from the fullback, Stinnett. On that spinner, Cleaver, the wingback, took it, moved up across the 40 for a pickup. We'll call it of 1. 2nd and 9 for the Beavers. Arana is the tailback. Stinnett, the fullback, getting the ball, spinning at the 45 across the midfield stripe. He's got a first down as he gets down to the Kansas 49-yard line. Tackle was made by Letkovich, Horner, and Carrier. We have 3 minutes, 4 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. The score, Oregon State 34, Kansas 6. 1st and 10 Beavers. Lucart's the blocking back. The tailback is Arana. Cleaver's the wingback, and Stinnett's the fullback for the Beavers. Strong side right. Stinnett gives to Arana. Got trouble back there. A penalty against the Beavers. Looks like a 15-yarder coming up
Penalty against Oregon State.
for illegal use of the hands.
Illegal use of hands.
So that'll make it
4 yards.
first down and 25. Strong side left for the Beavers. Arana, the tailback, going to pass. Knocked high in the air. Intercepted by Kraus. That's the 2nd interception. And he's down at the Oregon State 45-yard line. 1st and 10 there for Kansas. Hull was the boy who knocked that ball high in the air. It was intercepted by Kraus. 1st and 10. Here is Stroud, or Morris in there at quarterback. Knocked out of bounds on the Oregon State 40-yard line. Dwayne Morris at quarterback for Kansas. Fumbles, and I think Oregon State recovered.
Fumbled by Kansas, recovered by Oregon State.
See who's down on the bottom of that pile. Number 68, Ron Daniels, the strong side guard. So we get an exchange on a couple of plays here. Oregon State with a 1st and 10. This is Aurelio, the fullback, and he is met hard by Paul Swoboda at about the 39. No pickup on the play, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10 for the Beavers, strong side right. They lead 34-6. This is Arana, the tailback, and he is tripped up as he gets up to the 45, 46-yard line by Homer Floyd. Arana's the tailback. Aurelio is the fullback. The ball goes to Aurelio. Up the middle he goes, and he's going to be close to the first down as he gets to the about the 50-yard line. Vanata and Swoboda stopped him, but they made the first down with about a half a foot to spare. 1st and 10 for Oregon State. Call it on the 50. Aurelio again, the fullback. Right up the middle he goes for a pick. Another 3 yards. We have 5 seconds, 4 left to play in the 3rd quarter. There's the gun that ends the 3rd quarter of play with the score here at Lawrence, Kansas. Oregon State 34, Kansas 6. We'll take a minute's timeout. Oregon State with a 2nd and 7 to start the 4th quarter on the Kansas 47. Aurelio, big hole. Got it inside the 40 now, down to about the 38-yard line. Jim Stinnett, rather, the fullback. Floyd and Morris teamed up to bring him down on the 38. 1st and 10 there for Oregon State on the Kansas 38. Arana going to pass. Short, for whom the man that was intended, Bob DeGrant. Or no, not Bob DeGrant.
Sanchez.
George Thompson. Second and 10 for Oregon State. Strong side left this time again. Here is Stinnett, the fullback, faking on the spinner, going up the middle. Gets inside the 35 to about the 32-yard line. Stopped by Vanetta of Kansas. Third and 4 for Oregon State on the Kansas 32. Strong side right. Here is Arana taking the give from Stinnett, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. Fourth and 5 for Oregon State on the Kansas 32.5. Here's the fullback, Stinnett, and he is stopped at about the 30-yard line, short of the 30. It'll go over to Kansas. The Jayhawks will take over. Swoboda and Feller made the tackle. First and 10 for Kansas. Stroud gives to Feller, the fullback, up the middle. He picked up about 3 yards to the 34-yard line. Stopped by Anagnos.
Second down.
Carrier is flanked out to the left for Kansas. Stroud, handkerchief on the play as Stroud gave to the left halfback Floyd.
Ball carrier with a flag on.
Looks like somebody's leaving already. We've got 11 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in the ball game. Oregon State leads 34-6, and that's the Kansas rooting section.
Final score, TC.
An offside penalty against Kansas, 5 yards. It's second down and 13 for the Jayhawks. Pitch out to Feller, going wide to the right. Comes back this side and is mobbed up at about the 36-yard line. A handkerchief on the play, and I think a penalty will be assessed against Kansas. A personal foul penalty against the Jayhawks, giving the option to the Oregon State captain. Undoubtedly he will take it. There was a good gain on the play. It is a 15-yard penalty against Kansas, makes it second down and 19 yards to go. The ball on the Kansas 21.5. Morris is in there, quarterback, fading back to pass. Going to shoot a long one. Intended for 34, Carrier, knocked down by Sanchez of Oregon State. Third and 19 now for Kansas. Quick kick.
Kick was by Feller, number 35.
Hammock's going to let it go. And it goes out of bounds on about the Oregon State 32. First and 10 for the Beavers. The ball on their own 32. They lead 34-6. 11 minutes and 22 seconds left to play in the ball game. Fumble by Sanchez. He falls on it on the 26-yard line. Oregon State's backfield, Swift, the blocking back. Sanchez is the tailback. The wingback is Cleaver. Stinnett's the fullback. Stinnett gives to Cleaver. 2 handkerchiefs fly high in the air as Cleaver is knocked down on the 29. A illegal procedure penalty against Oregon State declined by Kansas. When you heat with natural gas, you have no fuel storage problems. Change now to today's leading home heating fuel, clean, safe, low-cost natural gas. Third down and 14 to go for Oregon State. Stinnett on the spinner, upended as he gets across the 30 to about the 32 by Dave Harris. Sanchez is back in punt formation for the Beavers, standing on his own 20. We have Floyd and Carrier, the deep men, standing on their own 25 for Kansas. Carrier gets it on the 38. Knocked out of bounds on the Oregon State 46, where KU takes over first and 10. Thompson and Cleaver knocked him out of bounds. First and 10 for Kansas. Morris, the quarterback. Big hole as the handoff went to Carrier, the right halfback, and he gets down to the Oregon State 36-yard line before Darrell Swift made the tackle. He fumbled as he was hit. We lost the ball, and when he fumbled it, it's recovered by Oregon State. Beavers take over 1st and 10. This is Sanchez. Ow!
Sanchez, the ball carrier.
2nd and 8 for the Beavers. Strong side right. Sanchez, tailback, gonna pass. Complete to Thompson up on the 50-yard line.
Pass is complete.
1st and 10 for the Beavers. They lead 34-6 with 8 minutes and a half left to play in the ball game. Strong side right against. Give us to Cleaver from the fullback on that spinner. Cleaver to the 45, 43, and knocked down at the 42-yard line.
Playing right halfback.
8 minutes, 1 second left to play in the ball game. 34 for Oregon State, 6 for Kansas. A timeout taken by Kansas. Paul Swoboda shaken up on the last play. Swoboda coming out, getting a nice hand from the Kansas crowd here. He's replaced by Krause. Oregon State with a 2nd and 3 on the 42-yard line of Kansas. Here is Aurelio, the fullback, getting the first down or awfully close to it. Stopped by Harris. 1st and 10 for the Beavers. They got it on the 37 of Kansas. Sanchez going to pass. Incomplete. Intended for Doman. 2nd down and 10 for the Beavers. Here is Cleaver taking the hand from Aurelio. He's hit and hit hard as he gets to the 35. Harris made the tackle along with Russell. Strong side right for the Beavers. Sanchez is the tailback. Aurelio is the fullback. Here's Sanchez getting a couple of yards at the most. Well, Oregon State substitution, and we stop the clock. Timeout taken by Oregon State, or delay of the game penalty, I guess, against the Beavers.
For delaying the game.
Delay of the game penalty against Oregon State cost them 5 yards. It's 4th down now, and a little over 11 yards to go. The ball on the Kansas 38. Sanchez back in punt formation. Soft, they call it the squib kick. Bounces on the 15-10. Watch this. Into the end zone it goes. Kansas will take over 1st and 10 on their 20. Oregon State does not try to punt that ball out of bounds or get the coffin corner, as they say. They just try that soft squib kick down there and have it roll dead or else be picked up. Beautiful hole, and Carrier gets about 15 yards as he goes to the 35-yard line before John Aurelio hit him. 1st and 10 for Kansas. Carrier flanked to the left this time for Kansas. Morris, the quarterback for the Jayhawks. The give is to Floyd. Floyd, with power going up the middle, gets across the 40 to the 42. A pickup of 7 yards. K.O. Laoli'i made the tackle. 2nd and 3 for Kansas. They're down 6 to 34. Here is Morris. Got away from one man, but who caught him over there? Swift caught him. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3. 5 minutes to play in the ball game. Carrier flanked out to the right for Kansas. The give is to the fullback Harris. Up the middle he goes, and he's awfully close to a 1st down. I think he's got it. With the score, Oregon State 34, Kansas 6. 4 minutes, 40 seconds left to play. Some of the fans leaving here at Lawrence, Kansas. A beautiful afternoon. Temperature's been about 75 degrees. 1st and 10 for Kansas. The ball on their own 45. Here is Carrier getting the handoff from Morris. Gets to the 47-yard line, a pickup of 2. Don Thiel made the tackle along with K.O. Laoli'i. Morris going back to pass. He may have a little trouble. Nice block back there. Intercepted by Oregon State beautifully. Sanchez caught the ball. And the Beavers take over 1st and 10 on their own 33.5. Here is Aurelio, the fullback. Look at that boy drive. He's up to the 46-yard line. It's down. Strong side left for the Beavers. They lead 34-6. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to play. Sanchez going to pass. Got good protection this time, but can't find a man loose and has to eat it back there on the 41.
Tackle on the play made.
2nd down and 15, a loss of 5 on the play. Numerous substitutions in there for Kansas. Here is the fullback taking the ball right up the middle, and it's a boy for whom we have no number. Millam is the ball carrier for Oregon State.
3rd down, about 5.
3rd and 5 for Oregon State. Strong side right. 1:54 left to play in the ball game. They lead 34-6. Here's Sanchez going back to pass again. Intended for Cleaver. Incomplete. With a 4th and 5, the ball on the Kansas 49. Oregon State back in punt formation is Sanchez. Kick away. Carrier fields it on the 13. Look at him dance. And knocked out of bounds on the 17. Silent Clean Natural Gas is today's leading home heating fuel. Join the thousands of your Northwest neighbors that have changed to natural gas heating. Kansas 1st and 10, the ball on their own 22. The give this time is to Francisco. And Francisco is finally stopped up on the 35-yard line by Darrell Swift. Illegal use of the hands penalty against the Jayhawks cost them 15 yards, makes it 1st and 25. 1 minute 27 seconds left to play in the ball game. The give is to Francisco, the right halfback. He gets up across the 10-yard line to about the 11 before Metcalf met him. 2nd and 18. Morris, give again, this time to Bobby Robinson, who replaced Homer Floyd at left halfback. Keola'ali'i made the tackle for Oregon State on the 16. 40 seconds to play in the ball game. Morris going back to pass. Cuts are loose, almost intercepted, but not quite, by Cleaver. With 30 seconds left to play, it's 4th and 11 for Kansas. The ball on their own 16. Morris is back in punt formation, standing on his own 4. Good, beautiful spiral kick, driving Cleaver back. Over the shoulder catch. He slipped slightly, but he would have been caught anyway. Harris was the boy in there quickly. Offside penalty against Oregon State declined by Kansas. That was a 50-yard punt net from the line of scrimmage. Here's the fullback, Aurelio. Up the middle he goes. We have 18 seconds or 12 seconds left to play in the ball game. Clock still running. Quite a few of the fans down out of the stands here at Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, Kansas. There's the gun that ends the game with the final score. Oregon State 34, Kansas 6. Well, the fans and the ball players now leaving Memorial Stadium here at Lawrence, Kansas, where we witnessed a beautiful afternoon, and as far as the Oregon State fans are concerned, a wonderful afternoon. The Beavers winning 34-6. The Kansas Rooters didn't have too much to root about, with their team only scoring 1 touchdown. The Beavers showed a lot of power and a lot of class. They also showed a lot of sophomores in their 2nd and 3rd units who will be coming on in years to come. Tommy Prothro giving them experience after his team was out ahead.